We're back inside the LEGO workshop. Wow. Greetings, LEGO enjoyers, and because of Carlos Sainz's insane podium finish, which is a rarity for Williams nowadays, I'll be building this car. Yeah, the LEGO Williams FW46. I know it's last year's car, but still. It's an insane feat for Carlos Sainz. An underdog beating the top guys. Well, Max Verstappen was the guy who won the race at Qatar. It's one of the older ones that they don't have the paper bags. Yeah, some people were complaining about the paper bags in LEGO. Yeah, just be gentle with them, okay? Like, if you abuse them way too much, well, you might end up with rips and they can make you lose pieces. So yeah, you lose pieces if the bags are ripped. But it's LEGO's push to be more environmentally friendly, so to speak. Anyways, let's build the car. Yeah, this is the same car that Carlos Sainz used. And no, I didn't bother bringing out my LEGO case for this one. Yeah, just like before, we have some information in the instruction booklets. And we're on to the instructions themselves. Yeah. Carlos Sainz did a phenomenal job on holding off Lando Norris. Yeah, it's a rare race where Piastri finishes ahead of Norris. Usually Lando Norris is the top dog. Yeah, we don't need the wrench because the driver is going to go inside the car. And yeah, I actually watched a video on Air Force Delta Strike. And I will be doing a retrospective on the game itself and explaining the full story of how I got the game. At a convenience store, of all places. Yeah. But if I remember correctly, it was a really tough game. Yeah, it was one of the hardest games that I ever beat. But I did want to play it, just to see what goodies are packed inside it. Yeah. Again, Carlos Sainz has done a phenomenal job on getting a podium finish for Williams. This will be expected for Ferrari because Ferrari is always the top dog. Even though they're not doing so well this year. But with Williams, it is rare. Carlos Sainz should not be in the podium spots, but he is. And I also got one more Formula 1 car to build. That's going to be done closer to the Yas Marina race. Still pumped about Yas Marina, by the way. Yeah. One slip up from McLaren created one of the most epic championship battles in the modern Formula 1 era. It could be anybody's game. Yeah, Verstappen was the underdog because all of the odds were against Verstappen. First of all, Adrian Newey leaves the team and then joins Aston Martin and becomes team principal there, at least for next year. And then Christian Horner also gets sacked, but he still prevails. So it goes to show that it's not the car, it's the driver. Max Verstappen is still good no matter what situation he's in. Crazy, isn't it? Yeah, and having that pit strategy was absolutely bonkers. He had an insane pit strategy in the feature race. And because of that, it allowed him to get ahead of the competition. And also there's the Formula 2 race in Yas Marina. And Formula 2 is usually the series where Formula 1 drivers come from. Yeah, Formula 2 drivers graduate to get a seat in Formula 1. Yeah, and they're usually drivers that fight for a seat there. Like, for instance, Arvid Lindblad was a Formula 2 driver who just got a Formula 1 seat at Red Bull. Yeah, there's an empty seat in Dale Coyne Racing, and Yuki Tsunoda, the reserve driver for Red Bull, might take it. Yeah, it's not like he's going to do much in Red Bull next year. It's basically just going to be a test and reserve driver. So he might as well take that seat. Dale Coyne Racing has an empty seat. Mick Schumacher got an IndyCar seat. And because of that, the Canadian, fortunately, left IndyCar. Yeah, like, it's sad that Mick Schumacher replaced Devlin DeFrancesco because he is a Canadian driver. But Mick Schumacher is the son of Michael Schumacher, and he might do better in IndyCar than Formula 1, but that is if Alex Palou doesn't keep winning, because he will. I even got an autograph from him because of his dominance. And I accidentally bumped into him once. But oh well, live and learn. Yeah, this is a really nice build so far. It doesn't have the finicky plastic bags that people are moaning about. Yeah, seriously, people just want to find ways to complain about Lego. So much complaining out there, it's ridiculous. Yeah, still high quality pieces that nothing could ever truly replace Lego. I tried the Hot Wheels brick shop, well, the Mattel brick shop, not the Hot Wheels brick shop, and the cars are nowhere near as good as Legos. Yeah, the quality on Lego's pieces are still excellent. It's clear to me that Lego will always try to make a quality product unless if they screw up, like with the General Grievous set. But still, even if it's not so good, it's still worth it for the minifigures. Yeah, there are some bad Lego sets out there, but you still get an amazing minifigure out there. Although the inverse can happen and you get a really amazing set, but you get crap minifigures. Ironic, isn't it? That the inverse can happen. If Yuki Tsunoda gets a seat from Dale Coyne Racing, I will be down to get tickets for Markham next year. I'll be one of the first people to attend the race. But that is, if he actually decides to get the Dale Coyne seat. Because like I said, he's not really doing much in Red Bull next year. He's just going to be a test and reserve driver. So might as well get that Dale Coyne seat. That is unless Devlin DeFrancesco wants it. Because he might want the seat. Yeah, it's debatable. Whether or not if Yuki Tsunoda actually wants that Dale Coyne Racing seat, or if Devlin DeFrancesco wants it more. Yeah. There's a lot of speculation going on in IndyCar. Yeah, they're still using the same old chassis, which are pretty much ancient by now. Yeah, they've used it for a decade, and thankfully they are developing the new Dallara IndyCar chassis, but it won't be for a while. Yeah, the IR-18 has been retrofitted with the aeroscreen and the hybrid system. Which is actually supposed to attract more manufacturers. But people just care about the racing. Although I do see a hot future with hybrid technology. Yeah, Toyota is a lead innovator on hybrids, yet they don't have any IndyCar engines planned. They should, because Toyota loves hybrids. They love hybrids more than any other car manufacturer. And that's because they were the guys that pioneered hybrid technology. Yeah, these pieces are tricky, by the way. They're sometimes tricky to figure out. There we go. Think we got it in. So yeah. A lot of speculation going on in IndyCar. But it's pretty much just speculation. I would love to see Yuki Tsunoda in IndyCar. If there is a reason on why I should go to Markham next year, that would be it. Yuki Tsunoda. Yeah. If he gets the Dale Coyne seat, I'll go. Because the Dale Coyne seat is up for grabs. Yeah, the first seat has been decided on, but the second seat is still to be announced. Yeah. Yeah, if you're wondering about... Yeah, I went to go see Superbike racing at the local track at Atlantic Motorsport Park, but I kind of fell out of love for the Canadian Superbike Championship because of the M-Zone Radical Cup of Canada taking its place. And when I saw that race live in Toronto, I was like, heck yeah, this is amazing. Yeah, and sure, it was missing a race in Nova Scotia, but it was still an amazing thing to see, because I never saw the Radical Cup until now. The M-Zone Radical Cup of Canada. It's probably one of the best experiences I could have ever seen. It was hugely competitive, and the ironic thing is that one driver competes in both the Superbikes and Radical Cup. Isn't that ironic? That there exists a driver that competes in both the Canadian Superbike Championship and the M-Zone Radical Cup of Canada. It also has outsiders. There's a guy in Australia that competes there. So it gives you a bit of international flair, something that is not there with the Canadian Superbike Championship. Yeah, it still helps sell Superbikes, don't get me wrong, but I feel that the M-Zone Radical Cup of Canada has much better quality racing than the Superbike Championship. That's just my opinion, though. And not to mention, the races are the same length. Yeah, you get... Yeah, I believe in the Superbike Championship you get one race that's 20 minutes and another race that's 40 minutes. I don't remember, but it's the same format in the M-Zone Radical Cup of Canada. Race 1 is usually shorter. Yeah, I like seeing the M-Zone Radical Cup of Canada. And it has a lot of potential. The only road course that we have in Atlantic Canada is the Atlantic Motorsport Park, which definitely does need some fixing up since the track is in such disrepair. Well, it's still drivable, but it pretty much looks like a track from a post-apocalyptic movie or an abandoned racetrack, because of how much it has been treated nowadays, although still better than Sauber, which is in the sad state of disrepair. Yeah, like, they definitely need to get the Nova Scotia construction crews to do some renovating on the track, since it hosts the one Superbike race there. Yeah, like, the M-Zone Radical Cup of Canada should run alongside the Superbikes. It has happened before with the Motegi 2 and 4, so it should happen with that. It should also have a car race. I feel that there does need to be a car race. That Atlantic Motorsport Park definitely needs to bring back some of its mojo. Yeah, it has pretty much lost its mojo lately. I've seen some photos and videos of Atlantic Motorsport Park lately, and it's a track that looks like it's in pretty bad shape. Compared to one track like Riverside, it's not an excuse of the province, but I get that the owners wouldn't have enough money to really care about renovating the track, but Riverside still looks great. I've been to Riverside. Yeah, not the demolished road course, but the oval that's still around. Yeah, Riverside is an excellently maintained and meticulously a meticulous track. Like, it is in great shape. The owners of Riverside maintained it a lot, and they have a much bigger race there, the Maple Leaf Classic. Not only that, but they have the IWK250, so you have options of which race you want to see. You want to see Superbikes, or you want to see the one of the biggest late model races ever. The choice is yours. Whereas Atlantic Motorsport Park only has the Superbike race as its major race. It needs to have other races besides local championships and Superbikes. It definitely does need to be fixed up, considering that Atlantic Motorsport Park hasn't really been cared for. Even by the group of volunteer owners, which is something that is rare for any track, having volunteer owners. Yeah, so the track itself is owned by the membership club. Some people still go on it. I would like to see a Formula Regional race there. And probably bring Trans Am here, since Trans Am has a race at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and if you had a Trans Am race in Atlantic Motorsport Park, you could give people other options. Yeah. People can decide if they want to see Trans Am in Canadian Tire Motorsport Park or Atlantic Motorsport Park. And Nova Scotians would definitely be exposed to the roaring V8s. Again, could be something to think about, except for the fact you can't have a NASCAR Canada Series run two races in the same province, although they have some multiple races in Ontario, and people will decide if they want to go to the Maple Leaf Classic or the NASCAR Canada Series race at Atlantic Motorsport Park, and they'll most likely choose Maple Leaf Classic since it's more popular. But still, I love to see the NASCAR Canada Series run races here and bring over the M-Zone Radical Cup of Canada and Formula Regional, and you could have them run alongside the Superbikes. Yeah, it'll be called the Shubenacadie Speed Fest, since the track is in Shubenacadie. It'd be amazing if we got NASCAR Canada Series cars and Radical cars and Formula Regionals run alongside motorbike racing. Yeah, it worked for Motegi. It worked for Motegi. It should work for Shubenacadie. It shouldn't just be known for motorcycle racing. It should be known for all types of racing. We've got a bunch of Canadian racing leagues that haven't raced in Nova Scotia yet. Yeah, I mean, the M-Zone Radical Cup of Canada and the Miata Canada Cup, which is owned by the CASCOR, has never ever run any races in Shubenacadie at all. None whatsoever. Should be a deal breaker, because it would be an event to see the Radicals run in Shubenacadie. I want to see more races in Atlantic Motorsport Park. I want to see races besides freaking motorcycles. Because if Motegi can have an auto racing and motorbike racing event all in one package, then so should Atlantic Motorsport Park. Shubenacadie should be known for having races, major races other than motorcycle racing. Yeah, I'll explain more in another video, but I just wanted to point that out since I want to point out why Shubenacadie should have Trans Am. Seems like a natural fit to have a roaring V8 racing series run in a club circuit. That's what Atlantic Motorsport Park is, a club circuit. Yeah, anyways, let's focus on the set. It's been so long since I built any Lego sets here. It's unbelievable, isn't it? But I am looking forward to building a Sauber car. I always look forward to building these, man. And why do you think I love to chatter? Because I always like to have fun while making these Lego sets. Okay, let's see. Where? Looks like this piece goes here. Okay. Alrighty then. So, remember, Shubenacadie should always have more races besides motorbikes. Radicals, Trans Am, and NASCAR Canada. What more can you ask for? Yeah, Shubenacadie. Alrighty, here we go. Yeah. Look at that. That's so cool. Yeah. It's a shame that Shubenacadie is only known for freaking motorbike racing. It should be known for all types of racing. The one local circuit with all the big races. That honor is, well, there for Riverside instead, which is a far bigger race circuit in terms of popularity. It's by far more popular than the volunteer run race circuit. Ah, crap. Yep. Gotta figure out where. There. We should have a floor pan. to be a track should have the right to host car races. Motorsport being more and more recognized as a sport, every province should have its own race, its own major race that they can come to. Yeah. Yeah. The Amazon Radical Cup of Canada. Yeah, probably one of the best Canadian racing series out there, because the Amazon Radical Cup of Canada has a lot of personality to it. It even has an esports series called the Amazon Radical Cup of Canada Winter Spear Series, which means it's real popular. It's really popular. There's been a lot of amazing things about radicals. Alright, here we go. 1x, 1x. It's hard to see under this lighting. Yeah, there's my protein stickers. Because of course, won't be a Williams without one. Yeah, I do like that Lego has included every one of the sponsor stickers for accuracy. Come on. Get on there. Jeez. Only a piece of frickin' plastic. Snap on there pretty easily. Okay. Go. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yeah. Air Force. Unsolicited idea. Yeah, I love it. What the heck? Yeah, it's a curve. Komatsu sticker. And another sticker. 15 and 21. There we go. Komatsu. And we got more of this. We got more of... Alright, now it's time to flip it. Yeah, something about the Radical series is clicked for me. Anyways, sticker number 17. That is a really cool looking set, man. go. Let's rock. Nope. Yeah. It's been a while since I did one of these. Alrighty. Yes. Got. Okay. Boop, boop. I think we should know what to expect. There we go. There we go. Almost finished. Hey. Here we go. And yeah, it's time for the rear wing assembly. Sticker number 4. There it is. Sticker number 2. Yes. Here we go. Yeah. Remember when EA made a Santa skin for Battlefield, one of the Battlefield games? Well, that quote, that rap by Tim Allen, aka Scott Calvin, who he is playing in the movie, said it best. Yeah, he said it best in his rant. Yeah, because it is a ridiculous idea. Santa in the tank. Yeah, like, what was EA thinking? Yeah, they're just being EA. Anyways. Guess who has the license for all the F1 games nowadays? EA. I really hope they don't make a Santa skin for one of the suit liveries. I really don't make a Santa themed race suit, because the spirit of Christmas shouldn't be all about commercialization. It should be about a lot more. Yeah, Dr. Seuss hated commercialization. That's why he made that message in The Grinch saying that Christmas means a little bit more. Yeah, because The Grinch is a timeless story that anyone can, of all ages, can still enjoy. Ironic considering that The Grinch has been commercialized because of how popular it became. So Dr. Seuss inadvertently created a bunch of merchandise for his properties, like How the Grinch Stole Christmas and The Cat in the Hat. Now we're on to bags number 5 and 6. We're doing good. We're doing good. Yeah, it's basically the wheel assembly and the front wing assembly. Yeah. Yeah, when I saw the Santa Claus 2, I didn't even know that was the same actor who was playing as Charlie in the first movie. Yeah, like, he was barely recognizable as Charlie, because he looked a lot younger in the first Santa Claus movie. But it is the same actor, and has been a few years since the last Santa Claus movie had been released at the time of Santa Claus 2. Yeah. The Santa Claus trilogy is known for a lot of things. And known to basically poke fun at the commercialization of Christmas. Well, occasionally. There's the whole rant by Tim Allen in the first movie about Santa in a tank. And I believe that, if I remember correctly, in Santa Claus 3, Jack Frost took the Santa suit and made people pay to go on the nice list. Yeah, which is such an EA thing. The nice list should be a privilege that should be earned. Yeah, interestingly, in the Santa Claus 2, the former wife in the first movie drove a Dodge Caravan, and yeah, one of my grandparents owned one, Dodge Caravan. Yeah, it wasn't a very good vehicle to drive around in, but it had a good sounding engine though. It's a V6. But it burns a lot of gas, because it's basically a light truck. So it's a lot safer than a SUV because the nose is lower to the ground and you can actually see children better with it. So it's more like a gentle giant vehicle as opposed to the SUVs being death machines. I do like the whole gentle giant approach of the minivans. Yeah, and you could actually see people that's below you because of how sloped the front bumpers of minivans are. Although they're still not great vehicles. It's kind of the same problem with crossover SUVs. There's barely any that can be considered tolerable and worth your time. Yeah. They're all dreary except for a few. Yeah. Ford Transit's much better than any crossover SUV. And yeah, the Ford Transit was released in North America as a direct replacement to the Ford Econoline, which is still used for cab chassis. Yeah, I was just saying, the Ford Econoline is still being used for cab chassis even many years later. Yeah, crazy. Since the Ford Transit effectively replaced the Econoline. And the Transit has the Duratorque engine that's known as the Ford Power Stroke, because they basically want to call any diesel engine for any Ford truck a Power Stroke engine, even if it has little to do with the friggin' Power Stroke engine. Power Stroke is a big burly diesel V8 that likes to eat fuel. Yeah, the original Power Stroke was 7.3 liters of large. The power to weight ratio on the original Power Stroke engine is off the charts. I mean, you only get 200 something horsepower for the original Power Stroke engine. And the engine itself weighs even more than 3 Volkswagen 2-liter 4-cylinder engines put together. Yeah, it's bigger than 3 Volkswagen 2-liter 4-cylinder engines put together. Yeah, see. 7.3 liter diesel V8. Yeah. 7.3 liters of large. It's amazing what goes into a truck engine. Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of power, but it does do a lot of heavy lifting. Yeah, my uncle doesn't have the 7.3 Power Stroke, even though he does kind of own Ford F250. It has the base Windsor engine instead. The same engine that you find in the F-150. And I do believe that the Ford Falcon has used a smaller version of the Windsor, the Australian Ford Falcon. Yeah, the 5.8 is definitely a popular engine for Ford trucks. Ford trucks. Yeah, it was replaced by the modular V8s. But the Super Duty wouldn't come out until '99. So the Windsor still got used. Yeah, also the Ford Econoline has the record for having the longest production run of any vehicle since it was first produced in '92. And it's still have to be produced today by cab chassis manufacturers that still want the Econoline. Even though the Ford Transit replaced it, the E-Series chassis is still made for cab chassis manufacturers. Yeah, I don't think that any Ford car used the truck dashboard because it was specifically made for Ford trucks, but it does look kind of similar to the Falcon. It does share a design language with the Falcon. I also believe that the Ford F-Series trucks were made or even sold in Australia because people need tow vehicles. Big trucks that guzzle heaps of fuel. Yeah, big trucks are useful as tow vehicles. That's the main purpose that they have, but the trucks keep getting unreasonably huge, and this is something that several people complained about because of these unnecessary big hulking grills that don't even take up all the radiator space. Come on, get in there. Yeah, I swear, it's really hard to fiddle around the pieces sometimes. There we go. Yeah, the Ford F-Series trucks have been around for decades. But I think that people are catching on to these oversized behemoths, and dealers overcharge for them. Because dealers are still a freaking scam. Yeah. It's where you have to buy your new car, but you have to deal with the fees. Although dealers are sometimes good, actually sell cars at a discount like the Hellcats, because there's so many of them that you just want to get rid of them because they've been repoed. Come on, get in there, man. Yeah, we got the spoon mirrors. Yeah, these mirrors are pretty expensive, by the way, on the real Formula 1 cars. They are very costly. There we go. And got the vents. Okay. Yeah, Hellcats are owned by guys that steal them. Yeah. Or, well, that have to have a loan put down and never pay it off. And usually have it repoed. Yeah, either way, Hellcat owners should know better than to put down a loan for a car that they know they are never going to afford. Yeah, it's a life lesson for anyone. Never ever buy a car you know you're not going to afford, because you'll end up being in financial pain. Yeah, Hellcat's a nice car, but don't buy any car that you know you're never going to afford. Don't put down a loan just to buy a car that you think is cool. Buy it used. There's a lot of used Hellcats out there. There we go. It's a Duracell sponsor. Yeah, it's kind of like the Duracell battery, which is pretty cool. I always like that on the Williams cars because they have Duracell as a sponsor. Have a really cool looking paint scheme. Should get some poop cells because of dank pods. Yeah, poop cells are batteries that never corrode. Which is amazing. Considering that they sound like off-brand batteries, but they're really good batteries. Corporate. Yeah, a lot of the big brand batteries corrode. Come on, bend in place, man. Bend in place so we can make a cockpit halo. Yeah. Go. The halo is a really popular thing in Formula 1. And the 2026 cars are going to retain the halo. Yeah, they're going to be smaller and agile. Alright, go. Bigger and beefier tires first. And smaller and thinner tires second. Yeah, I should remember that. Yeah, one last Formula 1 car to build, and it's the Sauber. But it might have the 2023 Aston Martin, though. Because I had to have a safety car. Because no Formula 1 set is safe. It's complete without a safety car. There we go. Got the Pirellis. Man, I miss when Pirelli supplied tires to Canadian Superbike Championship. I can't call the ladies Pirelli girls anymore, because Pirelli's not even the tire sponsor. I have to call them Bridgestone ladies now, because it seemed more appropriate. I don't know why Bridgestone had to become a sponsor of the Canadian Superbike Championship. Anyways, it seems that they like supporting dying companies. But anyways, we're done. The car is ready. And it's going to look amazing. So let's take a closer look at it, shall we? Let's go. Here we go. This is one set that I actually like. It's the Williams Racing FW46. And yeah, it was used before Carlos Sainz became a part of the team, but I had to build it because Carlos Sainz got that amazing podium finish. He did better than Logan Sargent. Yeah, it is an amazing looking car, and just like with any other Formula 1 car, all I have to do to get the driver in is to lift up the cockpit halo and try to situate the arms and legs, and there you go. Yeah. These cars basically take me back to the Bionicle days, where each set is nearly identical in how they're built, but they always have different pieces. Certain sets would always have different pieces, but they would always be clone sets. But anyways, if you still see this in stores, I highly recommend you to get it, especially when you want to celebrate Carlos Sainz's insane podium finish. But anyways, this is the Bandito signing off. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell just in case I haven't already done so. Catch you guys next time, and peace out.